Let's talk about some of the biggest private label Amazon myths that no sellers are talking about. The first myth is that it doesn't take a lot of capital to do private label, and that couldn't be further from the truth. With, let's say, retail arbitrage, you can have $50, go to a store, scan items, spend $50, send those into Amazon, sell those, take that capital, rinse and repeat. With private label, it is a lot more cash heavy. You are going to need the funds to put in an order. You need to factor in shipping into Amazon or to a third-party warehouse, wherever you're going to store your goods. You need to think about package design, logo design, photography, because you want really good photos for your listing, and then also any PPC, the pay-per-click ads that you're going to run on Amazon. So I would recommend, if you're going to be doing private label, you need to have between $7,000 to $10,000 to launch your first product. Because if you think of it, if you end up buying 500 of those units, they go into Amazon, they start selling, you're going to need funds to put in another order. So you're going to need money right away to put 30% down to start the next order. So you're definitely going to need a lot of capital for private label. Now, I get targeted since we do private label. I get targeted all the time on YouTube, Facebook. I get all these videos, and a lot of them are very quick, and they're trying to grab your attention. And a lot of the videos, when they're doing product research, they're on Jungle Scout, they're looking through, and it seems like within seconds, they're like, I found this product. I found this product. It paints the picture that it doesn't take that long to find a private label product to launch on Amazon. And with us, it took us a good 6 months to find a product, and then an additional month or two to vet suppliers to make that product. So I think that is a huge myth in the private label world, that it doesn't take long to find a product, but it does take time, because you also need to be tracking products and making sure that you have the data that you need to prove that that is going to be a successful product. Amazon is great. The FBA service, where you can ship your items directly into the Amazon warehouse with the fulfillment by Amazon. They pick, pack, and ship your products. That is a great thing for Amazon and for sellers, that you don't have to touch the product. With Amazon sellers, they are selling you on the fact that you don't have to touch your product. You might get into a situation where you purchase products that are slow moving, and they've been sitting in the Amazon warehouse for 6 to 8 months, and they're starting to acquire not only the monthly storage fee, but maybe they get to the point where they start getting charged the long-term storage fee. So a lot of people say you don't have to touch the Amazon products when you're doing private label, but we actually have all of our private label items shipped to our warehouse here on our property at our house, and we store them here and we ship them in as needed. So I think that's one of the things you have to think about, is what would happen if you have your items in the warehouse and you need to remove them and take them out. Where are you going to put them? What if you want to do a really big order and you only want to ship 300 units into the Amazon warehouse because that's your demand for 31 to 60 days? What are you going to do with the other products? So I think that is a huge myth, that you don't have to ever touch your products. I think in the beginning with private label, that was pretty true, but now I think you have to think of a strategy for storing your products outside of Amazon. Amazon private label is far from passive income. You're going to have to put in the work, especially up front. It took us that 6 months to even find a product, plus the time to reach out to suppliers, order samples. Then when they come, we have to make the listing, we have to ship the items in, monitor the stock levels, run PPC, the pay-per-click on the items. So it is still a business. It's something that you're going to have to pay attention to. Private label is not something where you can set it and forget it. You're going to have systems in place. You can outsource some of that stuff, but a lot of it you're going to have to do up front. So it's definitely not passive income. With Amazon private label, you are not guaranteed that your private label product will be successful. It is very high risk. When you're buying in bulk and buying all those units, you're basing it off of your competition and their listings. So really, when you buy in bulk and you are launching a product, there's no guarantee that it's going to be successful. You're just basing it on your competitors and how their products are doing. So it's definitely high risk. Amazon sellers, when they're doing private label, I feel like they need to touch more on how much you spend on PPC. I follow Andy Izum. He is amazing. He's actually one of the few Amazon private label sellers who I recommend to people. He has coaching, he has a course, and I definitely think he is probably one of the best ones in the private label space. I remember on Twitter he posted that he crossed the $1 million mark in PPC ads. So he spent over $1 million on Amazon ads, which is insane. Last year in 2022, we spent close to $60,000 on pay-per-click. Now, we do have a lot of SKUs. We have definitely over 20, but when you're first starting out, that's one of the things that people don't share is that you need to definitely budget for advertising because it's a brand new product. There's no reviews, there's no sales velocity. So the only way usually that you can get your items to sell are by running ads. So you're going to have to budget for PPC when you're first launching your product. When you're choosing a private label product, unless you're bringing something completely brand new to market that's not out there, your product is going to be very similar to other products being sold on Amazon. So with that comes competitors. And I know even though we have been in the Amazon space since 2017 with our private label products, sometimes we can notice that there's some negative reviews that are being left on our products. And then we happen to look and there's a new competitor in the space. So I think that's one thing that you have to be aware of is sometimes you're going to get those negative reviews from competitors because they're trying to sabotage your listing. They don't want more competition in the category or the product that they're selling. So that's one thing to keep in mind that can happen. And that's why you definitely, it's not passive. You can't just leave it and forget it. You have to make sure that you are checking those negative reviews and doing your best to prevent them. Those are just some of the things that you should be thinking about if you are interested in Amazon private label. I am not trying to deter anyone from going down the private label route, but I'm always going to be transparent and honest. And those are just some of the struggles that we've had since 2017. Amazon's always changing and the private label world is always changing, but just really think about those things if that's what you want to end up doing. Make sure you leave a comment down below if you have any questions about private label, and I'll see you in the next video.